first time.
I got duped again. I was looking for a film that I could kill two birds with one stone for the month of October, seeing a film that I have not seen before, as well as one that fits into a damsel in distress category I could do for a second channel that I run. And this film was, one, not good, two, not horrific. Like, this doesn't even really fit into the category of horror. I mean, it barely does. It just, like, the most basic elements of horror are there, but not really, especially based on the cover here. The cover dupes you. So this is what it says on there: trapped model. So the trailer gives the impression that she's locked in against her will, which is what happens in the film. But it also shows that she's, like, crying through her makeup, that she's gagged in the like that you assume she's, like, restrained and she's kept against her will, and it's not fun. And it even says right here, she was looking to model, but found evil instead. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. There is no evil. Evil instead? Bullshit. If you call this evil, the events in this film, you don't know fucking shit. All right, I got to run you guys through the film a little bit so you can get a little bit more about what I'm talking about here if you're still going to watch the rest of this review the way through. Holy shit. So, okay, she wants to be a photographer, not a photographer. She wants to be a model. She wants to model, but she's doesn't want to show pretty much any skin. She'll show her legs a little, but that's about it. But she's wearing, like, a somewhat small dress, and she's got a jacket over herself. Somebody's taking pictures of her. He's not really into it. She doesn't seem like she's very passionate, and the photographer is, like, disappointed in it. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go change the a lens or something. And it's like, okay, she can tell that he's not necessarily happy, so she tries to talk to him. And he says that, yeah, I'd like you to show a little bit of skin. You don't seem to be enjoying this. You don't seem to have passion for this. This is a tough thing, and you seem to not really want it. But she says, oh, no, I really want it. I really want to do it. He says, all right, well, show a little bit of skin. Take your jacket off. That'll help probably. So she does, and he's like, oh, yes, perfect, nice. Takes one picture, and then just takes it down and goes, be nude. Get naked, essentially. He says, get naked. And then she just responds, what? And then he immediately responds, no hesitation, oh, don't be a prude. Come on. This will be good. And it was, I can help you go very far. And it's supposed to be that type of scenario where, the evil photographer, they demean the women. She doesn't want to give up this stuff. She doesn't want to be seen as a sleaze. She wants to be seen as natural beauty of some kind. But she also gives no impression that she actually wants to model. Like, her character will say that she wants to do this. Like, she's saying the words, but this whole time throughout the entire film, there is no, like, passion, like, given that this character wants to really do this. There's some backstory that she expositions to her boyfriend a little bit later about how she grew up and why she likes the photo stuff. There's, like, a military family. She clung to looking at people in magazines or something. She wants to model. Okay, I guess you got something there, but you don't really set up how she really wants to do this that much. But whatever. She ends up searching online for something, and there was an easy thing that caught her attention online, and she goes to it, and she gets picked up. And her mom is totally against this. She wants her to go to college, but instead she's pursuing her modeling career, wants to be all in on it, following her dreams. Okay, fine. I can believe this enough for that. Whatever. It gets picked up by this girl, so a girl is there to greet her. So I was like, okay, this is going to be okay. And then it seems pretty nice. Okay, cool. But no, so she arrives at the house. It's a really nice house. There's a really nice place. Seems like a rich guy, you could say, that's there. And he immediately was like, hey, she as soon as she comes through the door, he wants to take a couple of pictures of her. And she's like, oh, right now, really? Right away? And he's like, yeah, this is when you first arrived. We won't be able to capture you this way again. Play on words, you see, of course. Brilliant this film is with that, totally. And he takes a few pictures of her. It's like essentially capturing her innocence, as well as, I kind of give him credit, it's to, like, send to the mom and the boyfriend to show that she's okay and that she has got her modeling job so that people aren't looking for her right away. So he can do that. I was like, okay, that's good enough. That's something I'll give some credit for. But then also, while he's taking the pictures, his girlfriend is there, and she has, like, a nut bar in her pocket. And he is like, all pissed off about that. And he's like, oh, I have one rule. And he like tells her, oh, it's okay. I have a nut allergy and they make me go nuts. I have a nut allergy and they make me go nuts. Yeah, clapping on that one, that brilliant joke. That's the comedy level in this film, to be honest. That is the comedy. It's so stupid. And then so he sends her to her room and where she can stay after they, having a great day and everything. And it's going to take away whatever the excuse is. You could stay in the guest house. And then he locks her up in there. She can't leave. She realizes this. She starts to get a little bit sad. And like, oh no, I'm trapped in here. Oh goodness. And then later in the next morning, he talks to her. He's trying to be very chill about all this. And he's like, oh, the way it's going to be is that you're going to stay here. You're going to be in front of a live camera and you're going to model a bit and you're going to be here all the time. And yeah, it's going to be nice like that. And he's like, you got to give me your phone. You got to give me the passwords and access to everything. And she basically says, I'd rather die. She says that she'd rather die. I don't know the jump from you don't want to expose any ounce of yourself to you'd rather die. I'm just not following the passion for this character. This character's not getting me hooked on any of this. The guy tries to assure her that she's going to be okay as long as she just does what she's supposed to do, which is just put on a little show in front of the live cam. He acts like it's, kind of mischievous and super bad, but to be okay, she literally, all that he has her do is put on different outfits and just kind of dance around by herself, like in the room and on the bed sometimes. And that's it. There's like literally nothing else to it. And yeah, sometimes the outfits are slightly sexual, but honestly, they're pretty safe, I would say. Like I see people wearing more scandalous stuff on Halloween. Like this is barely anything. Like there are e-thoughts these days. There are a lot of there's a lot of stuff that's happened, in time and with the internet and webcam and stuff. This is pathetic. Like she doesn't say a word. I don't even know if they put music to it. She's just standing there and whatever. Apparently it's live when they go live. And that's also kind of a dumb aspect with having her be captive and live, but whatever. Okay, fine. And he threatens her mom. So that's the thing too. He threatens her mom. Apparently he has resources to have somebody like tailing her mother. And, he says, if you don't do this for me, I am going to hurt the ones that you love. And so that should be enough for her to be like, oh, well, okay. I mean, I'm not going to escape then because if I try, you're going to just hurt them. And he has footage of somebody filming her like right away. So it's like, okay. And like proves that this is live. He tells the guy to do something and he does and videotapes it. So it's right there. And it's like, okay, so your family's in danger. So you're going to probably do this. And again, but the request isn't like too extreme. Again, the title says this, on here, wanted to model, found evil instead. Again, no, not barely, barely evil, if you would call any of this evil. Okay, and then so just they show some of the modeling stuff and whatever. Okay, he might want her to do nude at some point, but again, he's not even having anybody like force themselves onto her. He's not forcing her to do a bunch of super sexual things in general. She's coming out of this pretty clean. Like the only part that is really bad, you could say, is that her like all these body pictures of herself and video are going to be on the internet. But honestly, these days, that's not that as horrible of a thing as it used to be. Honestly, a lot of people have gotten through a lot of those barriers for the most part, and those are easy enough to overcome. I mean, there's so many celebrities even that freaking have that, and a bunch of nobodies that have that on the internet. So it wouldn't amount. It only amounts to as much as you make it amount, essentially. And yeah, there's a bit of a passage of time. He's in the guy that sets this up. He and his girlfriend have like a little private theater room where they watch, and he kind of directs her on what to do. And he seems like very engaged and very entertained. And it's just the most mild manner stuff that she's doing. It's just like, okay, I mean, I guess. And again, so it's not even like there's no pleasure in this really. It's just they're just kind of. She's just kind of standing around and he's just kind of watching and there's just nothing that I don't understand it. To me, I'm just like, I don't get it. And she's not like she's got a nice room. She gets fed well. She's got a bathroom and shower. big old closet, different stuff. Like it's got a window. And if she behaves well, it seems like he likes her. Oddly enough, that is part of the plot here that he does like her a bit. But he's had girls here before as well, and they are dead now. So that's a giveaway that okay, that's not good. He kills them after they burn out or whatever. He feels like switching up the models or something. That's what I figured it would go. Is how he seems to do this. He's a killer, and he like does this with different models. He's got a girlfriend that either helps him or is unaware to what happens to them after they're done the modeling. It seemed to be the case that she wasn't aware that he kills them. She thought that they go to Asia and Paris and wherever else to go do their modeling now. The girlfriend starts to get a little bit of jealous too after some time goes by. She thinks that our girl here that's modeling is trying to egg him on in some way, and so she confronts the girl and tries to fight her, and our girl tries to escape. She's like, "Oh no, I wasn't trying to escape," and it's like, okay, you get she ends up getting at some point. He trusts her so much, he sends the girlfriend out to get our model a bunch of the like art supplies that she wants, and then he takes her out. He's like, he trusts her a lot. Apparently, he trusts this one a lot. Takes her out to go shopping like in person, so she's out of the house for the first time in a while, and he's, oh yeah, I got my gun as an insurance policy, but don't try anything, I trust you. And in the bathroom, or not in the bathroom, in the changing room of the place, she pricks her finger and writes help in blood on the on the mirror, which I think is funny because that gives no information really either to anything, but okay. And the guy, of course, goes into the changing room, sees it, and wipes it off. Like, this is such a obvious thing. They were a little more clever about it in the Wrong Babysitter film that I watched, which again doesn't really fit too much into the horror category, but they did a lot more in that film. As goofy as that film was, they did a lot better, and there's a lot more horrific elements to it than in this film, I would say. Anyway, he gets all pissed and he takes her back to the place and he puts her in the room and it's like, we're going live now. And it goes live and the girlfriend comes in. She's sort of decked out in black. I mean, I assume she's supposed to look like a dominatrix. She's got a flogger with her and she's like, ready to give her some punishment. And this is the first time I was like, oh, this is like a little more extreme-ish, a slight dip into more extreme than what you've been doing so far. You haven't done that much horrible stuff. And so she's going to get whipped on the webcam or something, and it's going to be some type of domination thing. Not even that. One of the friends, her boyfriend's friend, is on the computer going, bro, what'd you say your girlfriend was doing again? I think she's into pornography. And shows him the video that's live, apparently, and he's looking at it, and it's the whole camera for the live feed that they're showing is like her face takes up the majority of the screen, and you can barely see there's she's getting whipped in the back. You see the arm, and she's getting whipped in the back, and then she's just kind of like just like that. That's what it's showing. I'm just saying, for a film level and for pornography, pathetic. Like, this is. And then I don't even know if she took her clothes off. She was still just like fully dressed. They might have slightly pulled her pants down so they can spank the skin. They're just like, no, she's totally fine. The girlfriend was like, oh, it'll heal. It's okay. And, was feeling a little bit mean about it, but wanted to dish out some anger on her anyway. So, I thought there was going to be tension there, but there's none of that, which this is where there could have been. No, our girl is trying to cry, but again, tears are struggling to come out of her eyes. She's not she's not selling what they show here of like, oh my gosh, tortured. I've been doing all these horrible things I don't want to do. No, you barely done anything. And then he's a little furious with her still and makes her call the boyfriend or something. He and his friend, he's like, are you good with computers? Why? What do you need me to do? Can you track an IP address? And they go on a search thing to try to find the girl. And anyway, a little bit of time goes by, I think. I don't know how much time goes by, but she tries again to mess with him, I think using the art supplies that the girlfriend brought. She uses some of them. She's like, oh, good thing I was good in chemistry. We're told this now as she fiddles with the fire alarm, sets the fire alarm off. The guy comes in to see what's up. She stabs his eye with the heel of one of her shoes and tries to make an escape, fails. She's able to call the cops, though, and grab a little nut bar. And they show with a flashback of what happened with the nut bars before. So just so that we know if we didn't know before. And It's like, all right. So the cop comes there, doesn't really find anything. It was about to go into the guest house, about to go into the guest house, but gets called somewhere else. Doesn't care and leaves. And so she's still trapped, and he is like really furious with her. But then the boyfriend shows up, so he tracked them down somehow, I guess. And he gets knocked out. He gets tied down, and he tells the girlfriend, "You're gonna put on a show for him, huh?" Like this dude's getting more crazy. He wants to also he digs a grave and he wants to put her in it. He wants to film him putting her in it, and it just gets so fucking stupid. He starts to get really crazy. The guy here, she eats some of the nut bar and kisses him, and then this is essentially what ends up killing him. He's got a super nut allergy. He'll go nuts. She and him try to get away. The girlfriend tries to stab the boyfriend, but he doesn't. He stabs her. She dies. He walks out of the room, and then he dies. And she's like, "That's a wrap." And then it cuts to 1 year later, where she and her mom are having a picnic, and everything's all cool. This film was bad. This film was not very good. There's a couple of ideas, once again, like with many of them, that are fine and that could have been explored a little more. But it's like this, just this evil. You found evil instead. Bullshit. This was barely anything. I don't know. I feel like there could have been a neat story here. Like I was thinking about in the movie Taken, we barely see the daughter and what happens to her, but we can tell from following just the events of where she was, and then where we find her at the end, and that she's like glad to be found. She's like mortified, but so thrilled to be saved. Like that she went through trauma. We didn't even see what it was, but it's easy to believe that that girl went through some shit. With this girl, we see her the whole time, and I'm just like, you barely went through anything. You're fine. The worst part about it was probably that she was away from her phone that whole time, because he had the phone to text the people to keep them off of her, essentially, from trying to look for her. This was a lame one. This one was lame. I'll see you later.